How's it going, everyone? So this is the video I said I was going to do. How to make my salsa. Um, Pretty much I got everything here, and I'll show it to you right now. Alright, so depending on how much of the stuff you put in will depend on how much salsa you get. So once everything is made, you'll get an idea of how much what I have will make. So what I got here is we got 4 tomatoes, got 1 white onion. You can choose whatever chili peppers you want to use, whether it's jalapeno, serrano, which is what I have, or you can use habanero. I use serrano a little more since it has a little bit more of a bite. I usually don't mess with the habanero. I mean, if I wanted something that hot, I would just take a bite out of the habanero and leave it at that, because then all you're tasting is just hot, and you don't taste any of the salsa. For the serranos, basically, the bigger the serrano chili pepper, the less hot it is. If you get the really tiny ones, those are like hella hot. And however many you get, you can add later on, as I can show you, to vary the level of heat for the salsa. But I'll show you that in a second. We have 2 cans of diced tomatoes, just the tomatoes. You don't want the cans with all the other stuff in it, just plain old diced tomatoes, and cilantro. Okay, so what you want to do is cut the tomatoes in half. Okay, so first thing you want to do is cut your tomatoes in half. Easiest way is to do it, cut it down this way, so this way they'll sit in the broiling pan better. Okay, that's that. And yeah, I'm going to use all 6. Because I want to make a lot of salsa. Oh, that one came out a little bigger than I wanted. Alright, so that's that. Okay, next thing you want to do is get like a cooking sheet, a cooking pan, and put a layer of foil on it. That's what the tomato is going to go into. And then you want to set your oven to broil, and let's see if I can kill myself on this. Probably to like around, say, 350 or so. About 350. And then let that sucker warm up. Okay, so let's see. Then we want to stick these with so then we want to stick these tomatoes with the open part up. And they should all fit. Alright, so they should look all nice and pretty like that. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is chop up your cilantro. And make it kind of, you're going to put this in the blender anyways, but it's to kind of like, give something to put into the blender. And you pretty much just want the top of it. You don't want to get too much stem. Okay, you don't want to put fingers in there. So that's about good. Okay, let's see. Oh, shit. Okay, the next thing you want to do is cut up your onion. Peel this thing. Don't need the tips. It also depends on how much onion you want to use. I don't like to go too crazy with the onion, but you gotta have some. Don't need the tips. It also depends on how much onion you want to use. I don't like to go too crazy with the onion, but you gotta have some. And that should, you know what, let's just finish it off. Alright, so got our onions done. Now the next step is for the peppers. Okay, so for the peppers, what I usually use is a like a tortilla grill. Get back out here, and you know you can use this to make tortillas with, or if you have like a pancake grill, pancake grill, that'll work just fine. So put this guy. You don't want to put it too hot. Maybe like medium or so, maybe around medium. And you want to align your peppers on the grill, as so. The key here for this is you want to get the skin of the pepper off in order to get to the actual inside. It's just better that way. Again, what you want to do is use the grill, however you're using it, to get the skin to flake off. And then you'll get right out to the pepper and use that to put into the salsa. So it looks as if the oven is ready to go for the tomatoes, so we'll do that right now. Put this guy there. And with the oven on broil, you want to you want to put it in watch it for about 15-20 minutes. The key is you want to get the tomatoes to get kind of like crispy on the top, and then at that point it'll make it easier to peel the skin off of the tomato. Okay, so I opened up the cans of the 2 cans of tomato, and what you want to do is try to get most of the free tomato juice strained out. I pretty much did that already. Yeah, it's pretty good. You don't want to squeeze too hard because then you start squeezing out tomato. But as long as most of it is out, you should be fine. Okay, so as you can see, the peppers are starting to toast up a bit, and in a few more minutes the actual skin will start to split, and then we'll be able to start peeling. Alright, so as you can see, the peppers are, ooh, that one's moving. The peppers are starting to get a little more brown, and depending on how high you put the stove, the higher you put it, the faster they'll brown. If the lower the setting on the stove, it'll take longer. Okay, so I've removed the peppers from the grill, and as you can see, they're nice and brown. So at this point, you want to make sure you wait for the peppers to cool off a little bit because they're probably really hot right now, and you don't want to burn yourself or open one up and have like pepper spray all over your face. And also, this is probably a good time to just remind everybody that at this point, once you're handling the peppers, do not touch your hands to your face or your eyes, because you will have some pain to deal with. Alright, so let's wait for these things to cool down, and we'll start opening them up. Alright, so I'm not sure if you can tell, but on the tomatoes, the skin is starting to peel off on its own. As you can tell, the top is starting to wrinkle up a bit. So now it's time to take them out of the oven. As you could probably see, they are steaming hot. So you want to wait for them to cool off a little bit, not so that they're completely like cold, otherwise it'll make peeling the skins off a bit more difficult. Okay, so now we can start peeling the peppers. Kind of want to be careful when peeling it again. You don't want to get any juice on you. But just pick an area to start peeling, and again, be careful with making sure you don't get any juice on you, on your face. Alright, so there we go. We have our peeled peppers. If you can't get all of the peppers completely peeled, there's some little bit of skin here and there. Not to worry, you just want to get as much off as possible. And also remember, generally speaking, as far as heat level goes, first you have your jalapenos, then you have your serrano, and then you have your habanero. And again, we're using serrano because it's got a little more bite, but not like total like fire breathing hot. And then we're going to start chopping the peppers up. So right now, I'm just going to do 3. I don't want to go too crazy. Well, let's do 4. Go a little crazy. And you want to cut them pretty small. Yeah, let's go with 4 for now. So, got my cilantro on one half, and got my habanero, got my serrano on the other half. So, for the tomatoes, you see how nice this tomato is able to get pulled apart from the skin. And this one, I forgot to take the stem out. Alright, so we just plop that guy in there. Forgot to take a few stems out. And depending on the tomato, some skin will pull off a little easier than others. Best case scenario, this skin will already start peeling off in the oven. See how these peeled really nice. Really nice to come peel off. And we'll take one other small one. And with the amount of tomatoes I got, I can easily make 2 batches of salsa. Oh yeah. Okay, let's use one of these small ones here. Alright, so let's go with that. And then let's see, we want to put 1 can of the diced tomatoes. We'll grab roughly half of the bunch of serrano that we chopped up. Get this out of the way. Put a couple of our onions that we made. And then, last but not least, the serranos. Alright, so next step here, the blending. The key thing here is we want to have nice chunky salsa, not salsa sauce. So what you want to do is, as you're blending little by little, you want to make sure it's on, if it has the setting of pulse, you want to use pulse, and then as you're blending it little by little, mix it up so it doesn't all stay on the bottom and again turn into salsa sauce. That should be très bien, or good. Muy bien, muy delicioso. And let me get a thing to pour it out on. Guess I should do it this way. And there you have some salsa. And there you have this damn light. There you have your salsa. And let's see, let's get someone crushed on my damn Doritos. Ooh, that looks hot. Very nice. Okay. Kind of spicy, but yeah, so I still can make easily another 1.5 things of salsa. Got with the covered up serranos I got here. Yeah, easily another one of, I can use my hand to make a size comparison. Easily one more of these salsa bins. So that's pretty much that. Like I said, I'll have enough for probably one more batch of salsa, which is good since salsa and my family doesn't last that long. Alright, so that's it. Thanks. Bye.